Hi everyone, it's Joe from Homegrown Musician and welcome back to another video. So recently I've been writing quite a lot of personal music for a little project that I've been working on. Now it's mainly for cathartic reasons because I just felt like writing some music, but as well as that I might be releasing it fairly soon, so keep an eye on this space. However, the reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the tunes that I've written has a really heavy quintuplet swing to it, and as I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video, I thought it'd make a good homegrown musician topic. So quintuplets are a rhythmic division in music that have seen quite a rise in popularity in recent years. Now that's probably because the genres that typically use them, so chilled out stuff like neo soul and lo-fi hip hop, have also seen quite a rise in popularity too. But not only that, quite a lot of large high profile music YouTubers, so people like Adam Neely, have made videos discussing the topic, and if it's good enough for him, then it's definitely good enough for Homegrown Musician. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what are quintuplets, why people use quintuplets, and how to get the quintuplet sound in Ableton. Speaking of ripping off Adam Neely, if you enjoy his kind of videos where he breaks down music and music theory, there's a chance you might enjoy some of my stuff as well. So the idea behind the channel is I'll show you a piece of music that I've made, break down the techniques that I've used, and then you can recreate them for yourselves in your own music. So if that sounds cool, please check out my other stuff, maybe drop a like, share and subscribe, and I will love you forever, promise. So I'm now going to talk about the music theory behind quintuplets, and whilst it's not like degree level standard and super hard, it's not beginner either. So if you don't know anything about like rhythm and meter or rhythmic division, you should probably watch one of these two videos that I've already made on the topic. Now they're not like all-encompassing videos, so they won't cover everything that you'll need to know, so if you still get a little bit stuck, you should probably do a bit of further reading yourself. If you want though, you can skip past the music theory section and just go straight to application, because whilst you should probably know how they work, as long as you know how to use them, you'll probably learn just as much anyway. Well, quintuplets are a rhythmic division in music, so just like quavers, semiquavers, and triplets, they're a means of splitting up time so that we know exactly when and where we have to play our notes. So quintuplets come under the category of tuplets. So for example, other tuplets include duplets, triplets, septuplets, there are more as well. However, as the name implies, quintuplets are a division of 5, as the Latin word quintus translates to 5th in English. So if quintuplets come under the category of tuplets, how do tuplets work generally in music? Now this is going to get a little bit wordy, but I'm sure you'll understand. So tuplets are where you take an irregular rhythmic division in a given time signature and you squash that into the same amount of time it would take to play a regular rhythmic division. So like I said, a little bit wordy, but I'll explain using the most common example of tuplets, which are triplets. So, say you've got a piece of music in a simple time signature like 2/4 or 4/4. In simple time signatures, the pulse or underlying feel of the music can be evenly divided into groups that are divisible by 2. Now this means that rhythmic divisions like 8th notes and 16th notes are grouped into 2s and 4s. Now this is where triplets come in. So triplets are 3 evenly spaced notes, which is an irregular grouping in a simple time signature, played across the same amount of time as 2 notes of the same value. So let's hear a quick example of triplets in action. So that's how it works in simple time signatures, but what about compound time signatures like 6/8 and 9/8? So like we said earlier, simple time signatures are where the pulse can be divided into rhythmic groups of 2, but in compound time signatures, the pulse is divided into rhythmic groups of 3 instead. This means that 8th notes and 16th notes will now be in 3s and 6s. So in this case, there's no use for triplets as they're already a group of 3, but now you'll get other irregular divisions like duplets and quadruplets. So as a form of tuplets, quintuplets work in exactly the same way. You take 5 evenly spaced notes and you squish them into the same amount of time it would normally take to play either 4 notes in a simple time signature or 3 notes in a compound time signature. That's basically the easy way of putting it. So the reason composers and producers alike like to use quintuplets is because they add this very cool but subtle swing feeling. So it's not as straight as say something in a properly locked division of 4 like a marching band, but it's nowhere near as swung as something in like a triplety blues shuffle feel. So they give you this really cool but subtle middle ground. So a really good musical example of quintuplets in action would have to be Sequence Start by Sungazer. Like I said, Adam Neely, who's part of the band, has already done loads of great breakdowns on quintuplets, so if you're not like already massively bored out your head, I definitely recommend going and checking that stuff out. Also, it's Adam Neely, so you know. Another really good musical example would be the second verse of Handmade Cities by Pliny, absolute belter as well, and Velours by Anomaly. So like I said at the beginning, the entire reason I'm making this video is because a piece I'm currently writing actually uses quintuplet feeling. So basically anything that's even mildly rhythmic is locked to a quintuplet grid as opposed to your regular quadruple or triple grid. Not only that, I'm actually accenting the first and fourth quintuplet of every beat in the hi-hat part, as it just really helps bring out the quintuplet feeling. It almost feels swung, but just not quite. So now I'm going to walk you through how to get the quintuplet sound in Ableton. Firstly, make a MIDI region that's 1 bar long. Now draw 6 semi-quaver notes exactly. This should fill up the first beat and a half. So highlight all 6 notes and grab this grey tag at the top of the MIDI region. Once you've grabbed it, drag it back to the start of the second beat. Now delete the excess note and you should be left with 5 evenly spaced quintuplets. So now that you've got these evenly spaced quintuplets, you can use the rhythmic divide and multiply signs on the left hand side to make them the exact length that you need. What I personally recommend doing is making loads of rhythmic templates, so one where you have, say, semi-quaver quintuplets, one where you have quaver quintuplets, one where you have maybe even a full bar's worth of quintuplets, just in case you need them for various different parts in the project. So now highlight all of your MIDI notes and deactivate them using the 0 key. You can then copy and paste them into other MIDI regions to use as a rhythmic grid so that you can line up your other parts and they'll fit the quintuplet feeling. As a bonus tip, you can actually use this technique to make any different kind of tuplet. However, remember we deleted the excess note earlier, so the rule is as follows. If you want to make a tuplet, you have to have 1 extra note. So say you want to make septuplets, you'll need 8 notes and then to delete the 8th note once you're finished. If you want to make triplets, you'll need 4 notes and you delete the 4th note once you're finished, etc, etc. So that's how you make quintuplets in Ableton. Now if I'm honest, even though I love Ableton, I think it's a great piece of software, I think this is a really outdated method and it is a bit of a faff. It takes a while, it's a bit of a pain to constantly be copying and pasting the MIDI notes. I just can't see why they couldn't add a quintuplet grid in the same way they have a triplet grid. I mean, personally what I think we should do is we should share this video, hear me out, we should share this video a good 50,000 times and tag Ableton every single time, and hopefully we get on their nerves that much that they add a quintuplet grid and we can go back to making lo-fi hip-hop music in peace. Likewise, this might also be the part in the video where everybody comments and calls me a massive pillock because there is a way easier way of doing it, but I'll be alright with that because it'll make my life easier. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'd hugely appreciate any likes, shares and subscribes as it would massively help the channel.